Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome to this bonus edition of the Elements Dev Diary. Now, there's been a lot of talk on the forums about what components are going to be included in version 1, or more specifically, what everyone thinks we should include in version 1. Now, Elements is ongoing, and we're building this in the open, so we know we haven't got everything in there we need right now, but it is still in development and we are still adding components. So you're going to have to be a little bit patient. We're working as quick as we can, and we do want to get this stuff in there. Now, I've written a full response to the component about the components on the forum, and that'll be beside this video, and it kind of goes into our thoughts on each of the components. Now, the list I'm talking about is this one here on the forum. It's in Dev Diary episode 48. Weaver Pixel, Marcus, has a great list of things that he would like and things he thinks we should have and things nice to have. Now, as I say, in the reply I've written, I go through each of these and talk about what we will have and what we won't have and what we think are great options for third parties to build. But I think it's important to realize we're building Elements kind of differently to other apps or what you might be used to. We really want our components, the ones we include, to be really powerful and almost generic in a way that you can combine them together to build up other things. So it might be, it's like, oh, here is like I want an icon list. And I think, well, I don't know if we want a specific component for that, because people have such radical ideas about what they want from an icon list. We feel like it might be better to build this up from the components we have in the app, rather than if we pre-build an icon list component, it's going to be fairly generic. It's going to be hard to customize and offer all the options people want. Whereas if you use our base components, you can kind of build up what you want. Now, I know this is not going to work for everything, and you're going to say, yeah, but what about this and what about this? And the truth of the matter is we can't build every single solution to everything you want. And that is why from the outset we built the Elements API, so that third parties can come along and build other solutions for Elements. But we also built the custom components, which allows you guys to build the stuff you need and to get help with it. So there's a lot of options here, but have a look through the list, and we are trying to cover most of the base points that we think people would want out the box. So I thought it'd be good to dive into Elements and just have a look at an example of something that maybe you hadn't thought, oh, actually, I can build that in Elements and I don't need a specific component for it. And I'm going to use the icon list because that seemed like a good one to go over. So let's hop over to Elements. I'm just going to hide the browser. So I've got this document here that I put together. Now, this project, I've shared it on the forum before, and it's fairly straightforward, but I've got this block here of features. Now, this is a good example. We did have a component like this that allowed you to put an icon on the left or right and kind of lay out some text. And it worked and it was easy to use, but it was really limiting. And people were already saying, oh, I like this component, but now I need this option and that option. And it's like, well, actually you can build it with what we've got here, with these other, quite simply with these other components. So I thought I'd take this and build an icon list, and we can kind of build it up and see how you might do that. So once you kind of change your way of thinking and thinking, not like, I need a pre-built component to do a star rating or something, or I need a pre-built component to do an icon list. You can actually build it yourself. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this this little page builder item I have here. Let's drag it up here. And we can see here it's sitting inside of a grid, and I've got this little flex box. So let's just name this back to flex so you know what it is. So I've got a flex, and I've got two container items there. Now this was separated out for these, and I don't think we need these anymore. So I'm just going to drop my SVG directly in the flex, and we want this title. I'm going to drop that directly in there, and we'll get rid of the two containers. Let's remove those. And now we've got a flex with two items. So this is starting to look more like a icon list. But what I need to do, I think I've still got some padding on this. Spacing. Yeah, we've got some padding. So let's set that to 0. And here, so now we've got our flex, but these items are not, I want this text aligned with the icon. So what we're going to need to align the items. So I think if I pick center, there we go. So now these items are aligned perfectly. And that's a really good basis for an icon list. I've got some padding on these horizontally, so we could move these a little bit closer. So you see that jumps there. And at the moment, let's have a look. I've got some sizing on the icon, you know, so I could resize this quite easily, and we can make it any size we want. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Let's put it back to 10. I think 10 was quite a good 10 was quite a good size. So let's just rename this to mouse click, just so it's different from what we have down here. Now that's looking pretty good. I'm also thinking I want to put this list in a container, which maybe we'll do this after. But what I can do here with this flex, we're just going to duplicate this, and I could turn this into a global, so I could override, so I could reuse it and then change the settings globally. But I don't feel like we need to do that here. But actually, let's go ahead. Before we create the other items, I'm going to create a container, and let's put that in the grid. And I want to put the flex item in the container. And in our container, let's set the background to white, and let's set some borders on it. Now I might just temporarily put some spacing on here so you can see a little bit more what I'm doing, but we'll switch that off. We're going to put some borders. Let's put a border radius. I'm going to go with, let's go with extra large to make it curvy. This is a little control we need to update here, so they're all linked. That'll be coming soon. Right, so we've got this container. I'm going to put a drop shadow on that as well. Let's put, I think that's in effects, and we'll do, let's extra large. Maybe that's a bit too large. Let's do a large drop shadow on there. Let's create a bit of space here. I've got my grid. I'm going to do some spacing on the, let's do a margin. Let's get some bit of space there. Lovely. Right, so now we've got this this one item sitting in a flex box. Let's have a look. Let's turn off this spacing because we don't need this anymore. We'll set that to 0. And what I'm going to do, we can call this flex 1. And what I could just copy and paste this. Let's copy, let's select it in here. Yeah, let's copy and paste this. There we are. So copy and pasting doesn't work in the node browser yet. You have to select duplicate. It's just little things we haven't got around to. We'll get around to it, don't worry. At the moment, you just copy and paste in the main view. So yeah, so I can copy and paste these. And now we've got our icon list, and this is looking pretty good. What I'm thinking is we want to create, these are a bit bunched up to the edge, and I want to create spacing on the item on these. Now there's a couple of ways I could do this. I could have added spacing on the container, but I actually want a rollover effect on these list items. So I'm going to add the padding to the list items because I want the whole background to be highlighted. So let's add a little bit of padding on here. 3 to the sides, you can see that move in there, and 3 there. That's quite chunky. Put that down to 2. This is looking pretty good. And what I can do on the background, we could have a rollover effect. So we could start it white, and then on rollover we'll make it orange. So now as I roll over these, they go orange. This is looking good. Let's update these icons. We'll put a globe in there. Let's put a thunderbolt there, or a lightning, and we'll put a cloud a cloud there. Visit the cloud. Thunder and lightning, and browse the web. So this is looking pretty good. Now I've noticed. Let me have a look. I've noticed because I've put a background on these flex boxes. What's happening is it's overlaying my curve that I had on the container. So what I want to do, I want to go to layout, and the overflow, I want to set that to hidden, and that means the items in there, the overflow is going to be hidden. So you can see that. Hopefully you can see on the video. These are now curved. Let's go and view this in the browser. Here we are. And this is looking pretty good. We've just made this list here. And then I could link these up, and this is a really nice looking linked list. Let me select these again, because what I'm thinking, I want to make, we might want to animate these. I could transform them so that when I hover over them, they could scale. So the end animation, let's have a look. We could set that to 110. That's quite a lot. Now here, one thing, this is good. I don't like that they're going to the left here. So what we could do is we could change the origin so the animation happens from the left. Now let's go and view this. That's much better. So now they grow in size to the right. So they're pinned to the left, and that is looking pretty good. This is getting cut off, but we can fix that. On my grid, I'm going to switch this down to 3 columns. There we are. Or we could switch it to 2, so it's a wide list. Boom. This is this is starting to look really nice. Background on here, let's make this slightly darker. Background here, and we'll make this one even darker, and then this one, let's make that darker. So now they get darker as it goes down. This is looking really nice, and we can change the transition timings on these items. I'm just going to select them all. Transitions, you know, let's go to 100, and that should be pretty snappy. Boom, 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 boom. So that's happening quicker. If we wanted it instant, we could go to 0, and now they snap. But I really like. Let's go 200. I think that's pretty good. So this is really nice. And now this is our own custom component that we've built up out of the built-in components. You know, you'd only have to build this once, and then you could continue to reuse this through all your projects, reuse it as many times as you want. You know, and this is in a flex. It's really easy to alter or add more items. You know, now I can select a flex, command, paste, boom, we've got another one. I go on like that all day. And then I can customize it just how I want. You know, I can add these. Let's add these other items. Boom. Yeah. So there we go. It's really easy, you know, and if I, let's go back here. If I wanted to have another one of these, I could just duplicate this. Boom. They're too close together. Let's adjust the grid. We want a horizontal gap. Let's add 10 in there. Boom. Super. And now we've got 2 lists. And this is, it's just so flexible. We could duplicate this, and I could add this into my component as a title. Feature list. We could add some spacing. I'll add a little bit of padding on here, or margin, whatever you want. Let's do that. It's a bit big. Let's make it smaller. Boom. We could align it to the left. I could add some padding on there to bring it in. What do we want? 5. Boom. And now we've got a nice, let's get rid of some of those. And I'm going to get rid of that one. Delete this. Boom. Yeah, and now we've got this nice list going on. And I can, I could continue to tweak this. We could change, what am I thinking? We're going to change the, I want to change the text. This is where a global would have come in handy, because I would have only had to change it in one place and they all would have updated, but I'm having to multiple select here. Like, we could make this a bit lighter. Yeah, the color of the text. And I could do the same. Let's see, are we on stroke? I could do the same on this. So we make that a lighter color. Boom. So it's really cool stuff. It's as easy as that. So, like, I think this is a good example of how you can create really complex things with the tools we've included here with the components. So sometimes if you think, oh, I wish there was a component that did this, think about it again and think, oh, maybe I could actually build this layout for myself. Or if you're having trouble building it, just post on the forum and we can show you how to put it together. I hope you found that useful and kind of makes you think a little bit more outside the box. But I also do want to reassure you, we are building other components. So we're not saying you always have to do it from scratch. There will be other good components that we're building. And don't forget, there is an API. And when Elements is launched, and as we run up to that, people will start building third-party components. And there's also custom components. So a lot of options out there to build what you need. All right, I hope you found this video useful. Have a read through what I've posted on the forum so you can see kind of what we do have in mind to build and build in, and what components we're working on. And yeah, let us know what you think, because we're building this for ourselves and we want it to be a complete web building tool, and we're building it for you as well. And that's the idea of having this back and forth so we can make sure it ticks all the boxes. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.